Helltides, one of the new endgame activities added with Diablo IV, offers up a ton of exciting ways to get gear and fight hordes of unending monsters. You might be wondering though, what is the best way to maximize the limited time frame you have for Helltides to get the most out of them? Well, in this video, we'll be breaking down the Helltides to help you decide what the best way to approach them is. I'll give you some general information first, then we'll go into the best way to get abhorrent shards, or Cinders, the event currency, as well as breaking down how the chests work throughout the Helltide, and also discussing things you should avoid within the event. If this is your first time on my channel, the way I like to do things here is by upfronting the knowledge within my videos so you can decide if it's the right one for you. So with that being said, the best way to farm Helltides is by bringing up Helltides.com, focusing on the circles that denote the events. Do those events to maximize your Cinder gain from the actual event itself and all of the individual elites and monsters you'll be killing. That website will also show you where the gift of mysteries are. So I like to kill monsters around those if there are not events up, just so that I can cash in the Cinders ASAP without worrying about dying when traveling back to those chests. Once you get 175 Cinders, go turn them in at the chests for a ton of legendaries and possible uniques, as well as other goodies. You can get 2 to 4 of those gift of mystery chests per event, depending on when you start doing the Helltide. But that's really it. That's the too long didn't watch of this video. So if that's all you wanted to know, feel free to shut the video down. I want to get you back in the game and crushing Helltides as fast as possible. If you are heading out, please don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. Each one of those does help me out in a very, very huge way. Also, I have a massive playlist filled with all my guides and how-tos for Diablo IV linked in the description as well as at the end of the video. Feel free to also navigate to any part of this video that interests you the most using the chapters in both the timeline and the description. Lastly, don't forget to follow me on Twitch, where I'll be streaming Diablo IV as well as plenty of other games in the future. But let's get started here on the best way to farm Helltides in Diablo IV. Loading into the game, let's talk about those Helltides. So you can see that this one's been up for about 5 minutes, and every Helltide is going to last you 1 hour. So you have an hour to get as many Cinders as you can in this red location. Now, some things to kind of keep in mind here with this is if you die, you lose 50% of your current abhorrent Cinders. Abhorrent Cinders are your unique currency that you'll be getting whenever you kill things within the Helltide. Now, within the Helltide, there is a chance for a world boss or a Legion event to spawn. So this is a Gathering Legion down here, right? If this Gathering Legion had actually spawned up in this portion of Skosglen, then it would have actually given us the chance to get Cinders from the Gathering Legion. So it's a great way to double stack something. No double stacks, no erases, whatever the hell that saying is. Also, world bosses have a chance to spawn where your Helltides are, and this gives you a chance to increase the level of the world boss. So for example, if you're playing on Torment and the world boss is normally level 90, well now it's 93 plus, so you get somewhat better items. It's not huge, but still it's just kind of worth noting. Outside of that though, you want to also keep in mind that your Helltide, once it ends, it's on a 1 hour and 15 minute cooldown. So it won't be present again for another hour, 15 minutes. So they're going to be up plenty as you play through the game. But this is just some kind of general information about the actual Helltides that I did want to quickly go over before we dive in. Now let me just kind of pivot really quick to show you Helltides.com, because that's what I use every time I jump into my Helltide. It really helps me out in kind of fine tuning the focus of where we're going to be going. Okay, so here is Helltides.com, and the cool thing about Helltides is it shows you if a Helltide is active, also shows you when the next world boss is going to be active, so you have those things. You can even turn on little actual sound notifications if you're just kind of watching idly. But you can see that this Helltide, Skosglen. You have to click it over to the one that's got a little green bubble right there, right? So Skosglen is going to show me where all of our gifts of mysteries are going to spawn. Now, gift of mysteries, like I've said, are the 175 Cinder chests that give us a huge amount of legendaries and uniques. We're going to go over all the chests, don't you worry. But you can see here are all of the events throughout the map. Now, these events might not be active, but what you want to do is go to each one of these events and kind of see if they are active, because these events are going to be the best way to get the most bang for your buck. You simply do these and it's going to just reap a ton of Cinders for you. You're going to have a lot of actual just static monsters and elites at these events, that will also give you even more cinders. And then the reward for completing the event itself gives you, you guessed it, it's more cinders. So that's what you're really going to be focusing on. You're going to focus on those. And I like to always stick around, like I've said before, these locations. So you can see that this thing, it's predicting where the next chest is. Okay, it's right here and it's right here. These little bulbs right there, little light bulbs. And that little green dot means that, hey, it's pretty much confirmed here that the majority of people that have reported that there is a chest here in the abandoned coast. So people, it's kind of a crowdsourced system. It's not just a definitive one. So it takes a little time for this to actually come up. And we're at 51 minutes in this Helltide. Once that Helltide hits 30 minutes, these chests are going to recycle. And you'll have a little warning up here that's going to tell you, hey, chests are going to recycle in X amount of minutes. It might not be exactly 30. It might be a different amount. And these chests are going to shift. So these two in these locations are going to disappear. And we're going to get two different ones in two different locations. So this just shows you where those gifts of mysteries are. Just keep this up on another monitor, keep it up on your phone, on a tablet. You can even just have it on another window. If you only have one monitor, you can just alt tab back and forth. But what I like to do here is say, okay, this is the chest I'm going to hunt. So let me go back into the game. Okay, where's that again? Let's take a look. Where is that? Okay, it's right over here. Go back into the game. That's right there. I'm going to right click. Okay, so now I know my chest is right here. And I can kind of start partying at all the events in this section because it essentially gives me a course to hit, right? If I look over at this portion of the map and then jump back to helltides.com, oh man. So I've got like 5 juicy events in a pretty nice tight circle around where this chest is. So that's what you're going to really be doing. It's the best way to really focus this down. So let's jump into doing an event and kind of showing you what that reward looks like from 0 all the way to getting as many cinders as we can from one event. So take a look at this. We are at this event, and this means that the event is about to start. It's about to get kicking off here. And there is one specific event that is unique to Helltides. It is an Infernal Portal event. We're probably not, we're going to get the Ghost event, unfortunately, the Wayward Soul one. But the Infernal Portal one is a way to get a ton of souls because you are just beset on all sides. And you see these, those things like that are plummeting down from the high heavens. Those are actually going to be a secondary kind of like static event that happens throughout the Helltide. It's when you get this massive little rain of meteors that then usually spawns a what's it called or two, an elite or two. So let's go ahead and keep doing this event and then fast forward to show you what the total amount of cinders we get at the end of it is. There we go. We've completed this event and we got 41 cinders pretty quickly right here. 42. So you want to really focus these down. You need 175 to pop open a chest. So we have 5 events around us for where our chest is. So just jumping to all those locations is a really great way to get these cinders quickly. You could stay here and this event will recycle, but you're just better off kind of rotating around to a bunch of different events. This is the fastest and the best way to get your cinders to turn them in at a chest. So let's get some cinders and go turn them in at a chest. Here we have the Tortured Gift of Mystery. So 175 cinders required. We got 195. Go ahead and pop this bad boy open. Now, keep some things in mind. A lot of people are probably going to tell you, you know what, if you've unlocked World Tier 4, just go ahead and do this at World Tier 3 and then jump into 4 to do it. If you die, you lose 50% of your cinders, so it's not worth it to do that. And that process might get patched out soon. We don't know. But as you can see here, we've gotten quite a bit of reward. We've gotten a lot of resources with the Fiend Rose and the Forgotten Souls. Forgotten Souls are a very crucial reward. Very crucial material. We get some elixirs. Sometimes you'll get glyphs sigils for your Nightmare dungeons. But we got 3 pretty juicy legendaries, one of them being Ancestral, and I actually do need gloves. So this worked out nice for me. So you're going to just rinse and repeat this 2, 3, 4 times, however many you get into the Helltide with. So right now, we have 35 minutes left in this Helltide. So the Helltide is probably going to reset its chests pretty soon. So I probably won't be able to get the full 4 because I've been recording little bits here and there. But what I do want to talk about next are some of the other chests within the Helltide. But hopefully this gives you a really good idea of how to approach Helltides to make the most out of what you're doing in the small period of time you've got. Now, one other thing I did want to point out about that Tortured Gift of Mysteries is you will not see it unless you are close enough to it on the map. So you can see right here, there's nothing in this location, not even on my mini-map. But as we go south, whoop, it just kind of pops up right there, right? So then you can go over to it and actually redeem it. But if you can't see them when you press M, that's totally normal. You have to be within a certain proximity to even turn them on. And one last thing I want to show you about these Tortured Gifts of Mystery is that we're now 5 minutes left in this Helltide. I've gotten 160 more cinders. Uh-oh, this chest is gone. So unless the chests actually recycle, because sometimes they don't. It's a rare Helltide or two where they don't. This chest is gone forever. I will never be able to use this mystery chest again in this Helltide. Once the next one boots up, they all refresh and all sorts of cool stuff. But I just want you to know that if you're trying to say, oh, I'm going to go back to that same spot to go turn in to get the Gift of Mysteries, it will disappear after you've used it once. It's a use it once and it's done scenario for that Helltide until the next one starts. So taking a look at the map, we have all of the standard chests strewn about the location. And these chests have a bunch of different classifications. They've got protection, jewelry, and weaponry. But within that, there are sub distinctions. So let's just take the first one here with Tortured Gift of Jewelry. So that can be either one of two things. Rings, which are going to cost you 75 aberrant cinders, or amulets, which are going to cost you 125 aberrant cinders. You've got protection, which is going to be for every single slot of armor you got, and it's going to be specific. But what you'll notice is that what you will notice is that these just say Tortured Gift of Protection. Once you actually get to the chest, it's going to show you the precise gift of protection that it is. It'll say helm, chest armor, gloves, pants, boots, whatever it is, and then that will cost you 75 aberrant cinders. So if you're looking for a specific helmet, you'd want to go find these on the map and go find one that says Tortured Gift of Protection, and it's got a helmet there. Now the other one we get is weaponry. Now weaponry has two different distinctions. You've got heavy, which is just a two-handed weapon. So bows, crossbows, any of the two-handed weapons that druids, well, I guess everyone actually has staves, scythes, all the other two-handed weapons. I was like, oh, only certain classes have two-handed weapons. I'm dumb. But the other is the Tortured Gift of Weaponry Light, which means one-handed weapons, shields, and focuses. So if you're looking for something like that, you're going to find it in this location. And then you're just going to get killed by a goddamn meteor in the middle of your video. But those specific chests are important, because I think a lot of people do focus on the Gift of Mysteries, and that's totally fine. But maybe you're playing a druid and you're looking for the unique helmet. Well, go to these Tortured Gifts of Protection and go look for helmets, because the Tortured Gift of Mysteries does have a higher chance to give you legendaries and uniques, but the Tortured Gift of Protection is cheap. It's 75 cinders. You know exactly where it is on the map, so it's easy to go get the cinders and then focus these things down versus trying to hope you get the right one at the right time. And you have a higher chance of getting legendaries and uniques that are strictly helmets, the one slot you're looking for. So if you're trying to get a specific unique that is in a specific slot, use the Helltides to your advantage to drill down on those specific ones. Even if you're trying to find a really good rare to turn into a legendary, or just a really good legendary that has a high item level, these specific item pieces are really going to be a saving grace for you, because you don't have to get 175 cinders. That's the highest cinder cost chest in the on the map in the game. So you might as well go for a specific one if you're really wanting to get one. But if you're just jumping into Helltides for the first time at World Tier 3, or now you're in World Tier 4, just get the mystery chest, because it's going to give you the most items that'll help push up your overall item power, thus allowing you to clear a little bit easier. And to further exemplify how these chests that say, you know, Gift of Jewelry work, you won't see it until you get close to it, like I said earlier. Now you see Tortured Gift of Rings, but it does not change that. It still will say jewelry up here on the map. So if you do want a specific one and you've already discovered where it is, my suggestion to you would be, okay, hey, I found it, that's the one I want, and walk away from it, go do whatever you're gonna do, get your cinders, and then come back. But this way, at least you know, hey, that is an actual chest of rings. So just keep those things in mind as you are going for the specific loot chests that you want. Now, around the map, you're going to find a lot of static little things to loot that are unique to the Helltide. An example here is the Fiend Rose. So I'm going to click on this. and it pops out 3 to 5 Cinders, but mainly it gives us the Fiend Rose resource, which you can only get here in the Helltide. There is another type of static loot that I'm going to show you. So it has to have a red glow around it, but it will also give you some Cinders, and I'll show you one once I find one. Another one of the static drops that are going to give you some aberrant Cinders is this Screaming Hell vein. You click this, and you're going to get basically a ore vein that also gives you some Cinders. Again, 3 to 5 somewhat Cinders. Now, one of the most important static drops are these little glowing ones. Now, this is going to apply to pretty much all of the static kind of like wretched, scary looking souls things across the map. If they've got this red glow, then when you click on them, they're going to just give you a bunch of aberrant Cinders. Now, I think there's another one over here that's, yeah, cool. So you see, this is a Tortured Souls. It does not have those glowy red aura. Click on it, destroy it, and it doesn't give me anything. So that's what you want to look for, those any kind of glowy red static loot objects, because they will give you some aberrant Cinders. Another thing you might run into here is the Helltide Assassin, the Helltide boss. It's never worth it. It's just so much health for very little reward. I think there's like 3-4 Cinders that this thing drops, and it's actually kind of tricky. Even if you outlevel the Helltide, it's just not worth your time that you're going to invest in this. So if you see Kixarth, the Helltide Assassin, I would just completely avoid them. Hopefully in the future they'll kind of patch it to give us something. It does have a higher chance of dropping legendaries, but still, I'd rather just have my time invested in getting Cinders to get better chests and what have you. Another thing you'll see are just these Helltide bosses that'll randomly pop up. They're not the full boss that we just took a look at a little bit ago, but they're just kind of these fun little elites that'll spawn. Sometimes you'll get them at the end of a bunch of meteors like you saw earlier, but they're just a fun way to get yourself some aberrant Cinders here to kind of help you in your charge towards 175, as we are almost there yet again. There we go. So he'll give us 1, 2, 3. It's anywhere again from 3 to 5. Sometimes they really kind of give you a stash of them, but just wanted to point out another form of Cinders that you can really focus on. After you've completed a Helltide though, one thing you can do with all those obols that you've collected is probably go onto an alt character that you're trying to find specific aspects for and jump over to the purveyor and try and use all those obols that you got to focus down any specific aspects. And you can of course use this on your main character too, but it's the way I'm going to be using it right here, is trying to find the Umbrous aspect for my helmet by just kind of producing a bunch of helmets here, hopefully getting that one. Looks like I'm not going to get it, but I'm just going to kind of push through this. All right, we still didn't get it. Watch, we're not going to get it in this dumb video. I'm going to be so mad. Yep, didn't get it. All right, back to the grind of trying to find a specific aspect. But still, nonetheless here, you can use this as a source of getting you aspect generation if you're looking for a very specific one. So even though we've talked about like the optimal path of going about these Helltides to maximizing your time and so on and so forth, I actually really love just doing this, running around and killing things, because you get a ton of experience, the monster density is through the roof, and you actually get a good chance of getting legendaries and or uniques. So don't feel like you have to do exactly what I'm talking about in this video. You can simply use a lot of the video as a resource of saying, hey, you know what, I didn't know I could get Cinders doing that or this, I'm going to go do that instead. If you just want to run around and kill things, by all means, do it. You don't need to do what I'm telling you. I want you to play the game how you want to play it. This is just a means of giving you a rough blueprint or guide on how to really optimize your time. So at that, it brings our video here to a close. If you have any other questions or anything else you want to know about Helltides, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And maybe I forgot a couple things about Helltides, so please go ahead and correct me in the comment section below. Or maybe there's something that I completely forgot to talk about. Let it be known. I want to make sure as much information about the game is disseminated as possible so people can really kind of crack open the mystique of certain things that might be confusing them. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching here today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun action, but have a good one and take care.